everybody, you're watching Kevin's Auto Channel. I'm Kevin Walters. I figured I would put on the GoPro hat today, do some first-person driving view for you, and talk a little bit. I've been thinking a lot here lately about a truck that was near and dear to my heart growing up. It was a 1972 Dodge D100 Custom. It had a good old slant 6 in it, and it had a 3 on the tree. Now, for those of you who don't know what a 3 on the tree is, 3 on the tree was a 3-speed column shift manual truck, which is much like what mine has here, but it was a manual instead of an automatic. So for first gear, you would pull it in, drop it straight down. For second gear, you would go up, neutral was in the middle, then it would go out, and then you'd go up to second. And for third gear, you would just take it, bring it straight down. That was third. Like I said, neutral was in the middle. To reverse, you would pull in and pull up, and that was reverse. And believe it or not, my uncle bought that truck brand new in 1972, and he kept it up until 1996. I was 8 years old, I believe. And yeah, I was around 8 years old in 1996, and my dad bought it from my uncle. I absolutely loved that truck, and at 8 years old, I learned to drive a manual vehicle. I learned how to use the clutch, learned how to shift gears at 8 years old, and I put many miles on that truck at 8 years old, driving around in the backyard. And I will always remember that. Sadly, that truck eventually started having some mechanical problems, and the engine locked up on it. And instead of putting the money into the truck to rebuild the engine or put a different engine in it, my dad sold it, and that was a very sad day for me. We only had the truck, I think, a year or two before that happened. So we didn't have the truck that long, but I made a lot of memories with that truck in that short amount of time. And I really miss that truck today. It was actually a dark green, and the roof of it and the lower rocker panel portion was bone white. So it wasn't a bright white, it was an off-white. Had just a little bit of a tan tinge to it, but it was still white, and I really loved that truck. After we sold it, a man put another slant 6 in it from I believe it was a 76 Dodge station wagon, and then that person sold that truck to somebody else. I have no idea if that truck is still on the road today. I have no idea if it is in a junkyard somewhere. I would love to find that truck or I would love to find one just like it. Now, this truck was a bare bones truck. It didn't have a radio in it. It didn't have air conditioning in it. But, you know, I would I would probably give up this truck here to have that truck again. Yeah, I would take that stripped down 1972 Dodge D100 today over this 2019 Chevrolet Silverado RST that has Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, heated seats, air conditioning, and all the amenities that this truck has. I just really loved that old Dodge. And you may say, well, how did you get any air in that truck if it didn't have air conditioning? Well, old style air conditioning was these windows here on the side, and they were triangle, had this little knob, and you turn it and you'd push that window out to like that, and that would funnel air to you. And of course you'd have your windows down too to have a little bit of breeze on you, but that was your air conditioning back then. Trucks today, your options are whether or not you have navigation, Bluetooth, heated cooled seats, power seats. That's your options today. Back then, your options were, do you have air conditioning? Do you have a radio? And if you have a radio, do you have AM and FM or just AM? Do you have an 8-track player or a cassette player? You know, CDs today are old technology, but there wasn't even CDs back then. There wasn't MP3 players. There wasn't Bluetooth. There wasn't cell phones back then. You know, it was you and your truck. If your truck didn't have a radio in it, you had your thoughts for your entertainment. And that's just the way it was. I was born in 1988. So I was the last generation to grow up without cell phones, to grow up. I didn't even have a computer in the house until I was in middle school. You know, I was one of the last generations to grow up like that, to grow up not being dependent on technology. You know, technology is nice, but you know, what is technology doing for us? It's really harming us, because you know, people today can't think for themselves. They can't. They have to get on their phones to find out an answer, to find out how to do something. And you know, that YouTube is wonderful. I love YouTube. I've learned so many things on YouTube, but you know, it takes away from the fact of being able to just go out to an automobile that's actually able to be worked on by a normal person, not a technician with fancy electronic tools to be able to unlock computers and stuff, but to actually be able to go out, take a wrench, figure out what's wrong with what's, you know, whatever malfunction has happened with your car. But you know, people today can't think like that. They can't even do simple math in their head. They have to have the calculator or the calculator app on their phone. Yeah, I'm glad I was born when I was born in 1988, because I got to see the best of both worlds. I got to see what it was like to grow up without technology, without modern cell phones. And I mean, there were computers when I was growing up, but not everybody had a computer. Computers when I was growing up were expensive. I mean, you couldn't hardly find a computer under $500 when I was growing up, and that was a lot of money back in the 90s. You know, today you can pick up a basic laptop for $200-300 bucks just because they're so readily available and everybody's got them. Not back then. And to see how far technology has come, how widespread technology is. Everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket, and your cell phone today is more powerful than what the computers were back in the 90s. They're about the same price as what they were back in the 90s for a computer, but that's another thing. But yeah, back to that Dodge. I loved that 1972 Dodge. I've looked around a little bit on the internet. To find one in the configuration that was like my uncle's is hard. Everybody, the ones that I have found, everybody, they either came with V8s or people's put V8s in them, and I haven't found one with a 3-speed column shift yet. So if I got that truck again, I would want it exactly the way I remembered it. I would not want to mod it. I would not want to fix it up. The only thing I would do to it is make sure the interior was, you know, in decent shape, and the paint was in decent shape. You know, if I had to paint it or whatever. That's the only things I would do to that truck. I would keep it a slant 6 with a 3-speed column shift, because that's what I remember, and that's what I want. So, you know, if anybody out there finds a 1972, I would say I would want a 1972, because that's what that truck was. A 1972 Dodge D100 Custom with a slant 6. It was a long bed. It doesn't matter what color it is, you know, I can always paint it to what I remember. And it doesn't matter if it has a radio or if it doesn't have a radio. The main things is, you know, the same style, the same long bed, the same slant 6, the same 3-speed column shift. But yeah, if you find one, or if you know of somebody who has one, just comment down below, let me know. And I would love to try to get one of those trucks again. They're not worth a whole lot, but for me it's the memories and getting that truck back. So I'm just riding around rambling again, like I do so often, reminiscing on the past. So share with me down in the comments below, share with me some of your memories of automobiles growing up. You know, did you have a special family car, or your first car? What was it? What would you love to find again to have, just to remember the days when you were growing up? So comment down below. Be sure and give a like to this video if it made you think of some good memories, and be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so you'll know whenever videos come out. Don't forget that the Craftsman Mechanics tool set giveaway is still live. It is still going on. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers on the channel, I will be choosing someone at random to win that Mechanics Craftsman tool set. So I am Kevin Walters. You are watching Kevin's Auto Channel. Be sure and check out other videos on the channel, and stay tuned for when the next video comes out. I will see you later, and I hope you have a great day today.